Hi, this is Nancy L.T. Hamilton, and welcome to part 2 of Brooches. And this part we're going to be actually making 2 of them. So we're going to get started on that. So now we're going to make, I don't know, let's call this the key pin back, okay? And this one's great, no solder involved. You can just rivet it to the back of your fabulous sugar type. And if you don't know who sugar is, you have to go watch my video on fusing silver to copper. Anyway, she has red hair as a hint. Anyway, this, you don't need to use any solder, so this is really fun. But you could solder it too, so you have options, but this one's riveted. And I've already sawn out the piece, which is it right here. I have some patterns that are going to be online in my pattern page on my website, nancylthamilton.com. And there's little dots on the pattern, and I went ahead and made my divots with my nail punch set thing here. And what I'm going to do now is drill the holes in here that are the same size as my imaginary wire, 17 gauge approximately. So I'm going to drill the holes. You can watch if you want, or you can leave. It's up to you. I can find my foot pedal. It's always fun watching somebody drill. Almost as fun as watching me saw or hammer. Okay, that's the second hole drilled. So now it's drilled. Normally what I would do at this point is finish all these edges to make them even, because sawing, I don't know, unless you're really good, are going to have little bumps on them. So you can use, you know, a ring clamp like this, or a GRS, and put them in there. And get in there with your files and flatten those edges up. So pretend it's done. As we like to do here is pretend. I'm trying to be very efficient with time. So here's our theoretically finished piece. Now there's 2 things that you can do at this point. You can go ahead, you can even draw these in. If you get a ruler though, and don't do it freehand like I am, but you could draw these lines in where it's going to be bent. And you can go ahead and score in this area, but if you score it to make a really crisp bend, you're going to have to use solder. So I'm not going to score it. What I'm going to do is just go soak the pattern off, and then I'm going to just turn these up with a flat plier. It's not going to be perfectly crisp corner, but it's good enough. And you can't really tell. I mean, where the heck did that go? I mean, that doesn't look awful, does it? Yes, it does, Nancy. It looks like crap. Okay, well, I'm going to go soak. Taking a hot towel. I'll be right back. So if you're going to rivet this little sucker on, what I would do so that you can get these, if you just rivet it flat on here, you're never going to, it's going to be very difficult to pull these tabs up or to pull the catch up. So what I'm going to do now is just give them a little bend, and the way to line it up is to put the flat part of the plier right along this edge here and just turn it up a little bit just so you can access it after it's riveted on. That, and just a little pull. So then I'm going to pretend that I'm going to rivet this on. So rivet, it's riveted on. Oh look, it's riveted. So the piece is riveted on, and with this one I'm going to show you, we're going to pretend that this is riveted. I'm going to show you how I finish the shaping of it right now, because I can do that. So once again, you know, you can use the side if you need more leverage, and just bend that tab up. Same with the other. Bend the tab up, and you want to look to see if they're squared. Look down, that's not squared. Sometimes you can just do this and scrunch them together. And then this one we've already kind of pulled up. I'm going to pull it up even more. And then I'm going to switch to my round pliers and simply just, I'm going to grab a larger part on the plier, maybe here. And I'm just going to curl this down. And if you can get in there trying to do it from both sides, you want to make sure it's level in there. That's not very beautiful. Or level. It's a little better. So this is kind of how it should look. It's not perfect, but this is This is a demo pin stem brooch thing. Okay, so now at this point, then you remember this is pretend riveted on. Oh, and let me mention this: if you're making a brooch for a right-handed person, the joint should go on the right side, and the cat should go on the left side. For some reason, that's easier. And if you're making it for left-handed people, obviously you would switch it around. I'm also turning the opening downwards because then there's gravity is working with you on holding it in, as well as the spring of the pin. So now we're going to go on to the pin stem itself, and I'm going to thread it. What I did was I took my wire, we're pretending this is pointed and beautifully shiny, and I just put a 90-degree bend in here. And I'm going to slide it through like that. And this may be a little long, but we can leave it. I'm just going to come in here with these pliers again, and I'm going to bend. This is my spring, and then remember it has to go down, so I'm going to pull this one up, pull this one down. So that's creating the spring. You can also bend this, I'll show you, you can bend this up to like that. Well, that's interesting looking. If I had more time, I would probably spend a little more energy on this, but I'm trying to get this angled more. Plier. Just hold it down. Oh, come on, George. There we go. So now what this has done, and I'm going to pull it out this way also to add additional stress on this. So now when I close it, it's going to stay right in there like that. And in the ideal world, this is not this long. It can either be inside the pin stem, or it can be right out, or it can be up to 1/16 of an inch hanging out. So that's the basic, simple, riveted on, fold up pin back. Pretty easy, huh? Now, if you really wanted to get fancy, you could solder, you know, the stop in here, like we showed on the other one, so that you have even more pressure. Like if you were using silver wire, you'd probably definitely want to put a stop in there to create more spring. So that's that. Okay, then I'm going to get ready for the second little pop-up brooch back, pin back thing. Okay, bye. So with this second clasp, it's these are pierced out, so I went ahead and I made my divots for the saw blade to fit through, and I'm using a 22 gauge drill bit, and so you want to make an unobtrusive hole, the smallest one as you possibly can, and don't forget to also drill these out with the drill bit for the size of your wire for your tab. So you want to do one hole per tab, like so. And then I'm going to saw these out and meet you back here in 6 to 10 hours. And I really saw it slow sore. So I've pierced everything out. I've made the 2 holes to put the wire in, and now because these are flush, you need to punch them out. So I'm using a little chasing tool, but you could easily round off the edges on a small screwdriver or do a nail. Just need to tap it out here. You could probably even try poking it out with some pliers, or maybe even do something like this. But let's see, I bent it, so that's not a great idea. Never mind. Okay, whatever works, just to pop it out. And then at this point, you want to go ahead and rivet this on before you start opening these all up. And then I'm going to do this. These are the curls. This is the same pin back, oh jeez, as on here. It's the double pin. And pull these up, and then curl them around, and then these come up just like we talked about before. God, I just thought of something I wanted to tell you. Oh, I wanted to talk about if you're going to use this for your joint, like the tubing, round tubing. I think it's a lot easier. Where did my tubing go? Is it? What I like to do is take the tubing and put it into a vise so that a little part of it's sticking up, and then flatten one edge, like I would flatten this edge over here, because trying to do this, flatten an edge with this tiny little piece, well, you'll end up filing your fingers and it's just a pain in the butt. So I do a whole section at a time so that it's a lot easier, and then I cut it with the tubing cutter. And I'm trying to think of anything else exciting. Let me think for a minute, I'll get back to you. Well, I couldn't think of anything to say, so, except for the book. I want to talk about Lorena Angulo's book, and it's all pinbacks with some awesome backs on pieces. Great reference for designing your own. There's also Pinterest sites that have pinbacks. I can't think of any right offhand. I'm going to try to put together a web page on different kinds of pinbacks to make, but it's not there yet, so it's a work in progress. So anyway, that's all I have to blabble about. So this is Nancy LT Hamilton. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to check out my Craftsy video, prong settings from start to finish, and go to my homepage to purchase my video, the Riveted Portrait Pendant. I remembered. I'm pretty proud of myself. Thanks for coming. Don't forget to subscribe, and I can't wait for the next exciting video. See ya.